Percent of change. All right, so when you have an increase or a decrease in an amount that is expressed as a percent, the percent is called the percent of change. If the new number is greater, there's a percent increase. New number is smaller, there's a percent decrease. You can determine that percent of change by using the following proportion. You have the percent of change over 100 equals your new minus old. So this right here is a difference, okay, divided by the old. So it's like when we did percent over 100 equals is over of, your is that difference, your of is your original. Okay, so find the percent of increase. So percent is what we don't know, percent over 100. Now we need the difference. New minus old, that is 12. So our difference is going to be 12 over our old, which is your original, 12 over 48. Okay, to solve this one, I'm going to reduce. I know 12 goes into 48 evenly. That's 4 times. So when I cross multiply, 4x equals 100. Divide by 4, x equals 25% increase. Okay. Now, percent of decrease done the same way, except that your decrease is, your percent would come out to be negative. Okay. So again, we don't know the percent. Now our difference, our new minus old, that difference is negative 8. So it decreased, so you would have negative 8 over our original, which is 30. Okay, I can reduce there. 2 goes into each one of these just to make my numbers smaller. Then you have 15x equals negative 400. Divide by 15, x equals negative 26. And when you plug that in your calculator, it's like 0.666667. So that's a 2/3. So I'm going to write a negative 26 2/3. So it's going to be a 26 2/3% decrease. Okay, and that's how you tell if it's an increase or a decrease. Does it go up or down? Is it positive or negative? Okay, so here's a couple straight, just to try. State whether it's a percent increase or decrease, and then find the percent of change. Those are like the ones we just did. Okay, so go ahead, write those down, try those. And then we're moving on. Word problems. So a cubed watermelon, yes, they do actually exist. Here's the picture right here. Looks kind of funny. They sold for $30 this year. This is a 12% increase from last year's price. How much did it cost last year? You can do this directly with that percent over 100 equals new minus old over old because it is a percent increase. However, I'm going to show you a separate way. Okay, let's do this way first. 12% increase, so that's percent of change. Now, last year, that would be the old. So that equals our x. So when we do new minus old, that's 30 minus x over our old, which is x. And you solve that. Cross multiply, 12x equals 100 times 30 minus x. You just have to distribute. That's 3,000 minus 100x equals 12x. Add the 100x over. So that's 112x equals 3,000. Divide. You end up with $26.79. Perfectly fine to do it that way. The other way to look at that is you say, okay, a 12% increase from last year's price means this year it cost 112%. Because you have your 100%, it's an increase, so plus 12% gives you 112% of last year is this year. Okay, so now if you do percent over 100 equals is over of, is this year, so that's your $30 this year, of looks like that. When you cross multiply, 112x equals 100 times 30, which is 3,000, and you're back up here, you still get your $26.79. You could look at that either way. Okay, I will show you the next one both ways as well. So we have, there has been a 17% decrease in sales over the last year. Last year's sales was $1,200. What are the sales this year? So percent, looking at it like this, our percent is negative because it's a decrease. So we have negative 17 over 100 equals new minus old. So last year's sales, that's our old. This year's sales is X. So X minus 1200 over 1200. Okay, and then you cross multiply and solve. The other way to look at that is say, okay, 17% decrease, so this year is 100 minus 73, or minus 17 is 83% of last year. Okay, so 83% of 1200 is this year's. So 83 over 100 equals of 1200 over X, cross multiply there and solve, you're going to get the same thing. Okay, this is 100X equals 83 times 1200, which is that big number, and divide by 100, you get $996. Okay, whereas if you do this one, 17 times 1200 is 204,000, like that, equals 100 times X minus 1200. Distribute. I'm sorry, this is negative 17, that should be a negative. So when you add over the 120,000, you get negative 996 equals 100, positive, I'm sorry, that's a negative 20,400 plus 120,000. That is where you were here. So you're going to get the same thing. Okay, so 2 examples on word problems. I did both of them out both ways. Choose which makes most sense to you. Okay, really do that. Like I've said from day one, do what makes sense to you. You don't always have to do it the way that I do it. Okay, do what makes most sense. That's why I show you both ways. Okay, here are some U-try problems. Okay, you're determining a percent of change here, and given a 16.2% increase, what was the price a year ago? So that's a percent increase. Okay, so go ahead, try those, and we'll go over them in the next class.